it was a great time. We had visitors from all over the world would come to visit, and they were talking about how this school system had these special needs kids, these kids that were so involved, and yet this school was able to integrate them 50% of the day. For 50% of their day, they would go into a regular, whatever that was, classroom, an age-appropriate classroom, and they would be there and they would be learning. We had this visitor, Marcia Forrest, come one day, and she said, she wrote this article about right in her own backyard. She'd been all over North America looking for good integration models and found ours and wrote about us and thought we were great, and she became another consultant. We had many consultants, some professional educators, some PhD students from the local university. A lot of the best consultants we had were their parents, by the way, but the parents would come in as well and give us advice. And one of the beauties of that time was that we had our superintendent was Jim Hansen, and he gave us license to try things, and there weren't a lot of rules other than, these make the kids feel comfortable. Marcia came in one day after visiting a lot, and she said, what I don't get about your program is that when the kids come here in the morning, they go into that class and they do all of their opening exercises in that class, and that's their homeroom, and then they go into an age-appropriate class. Does that make any sense to you? I said, no. I remember, change is difficult, and we were the experts in the world, and yet this little woman from Toronto came in and said, why? She just kept asking the questions. Why are we doing that? I said, well, let's talk to the staff. So we sat down with the staff and said, why? I said, why do we do that? I didn't know. Why do we do that? Because we always did it that way. He said, well, how would you feel about having the kids come in, and instead of going to see the special education teacher who was Joanne Guerra, they'll come right to your classroom. And Joanne will still provide supports. Well, we could try it. And we tried it. And we found that the kids didn't want to leave. They wanted to stay there. That was their class. Their friends didn't want them to leave. But more importantly, when their principals came to visit, there certainly was no need, no reason for them not to have them at their home school, because they didn't have that special class, but neither did we. That special class really closed itself because there was no need to have it. So pretty soon principals were saying, we'll keep the kids ourselves. We'll work with them, and we'll do the best job that we can do, because that's all we were asked to do. There was never anybody saying, why don't you make it better? Why don't they perform at a certain level? Why? It was make them welcome. And we felt welcome.